So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. Today we're going to do a proper installation of a culvert pipe. First thing we got to do is go pick up some supplies. We're going to go to the stone yard and pick up a load of 2A limestone that will be used for backfill on the sides of the pipe and on top of the pipe. But before we do that, we need to get a little bit of diesel fuel. We got our diesel fuel, $4.45 a gallon. Now we're headed to the stone yard. All right, got the dump trailer unhooked. We're gonna go up and get the deck over to go pick up some pipe. I decided to dump this stone down here at the wood yard. I can't get the dump trailer out the road yet. I think they're coming sometime this week to put the gate in, and we'll be able to tie everything together, but it's only gonna be a couple bucketfuls. But this stuff works really well because it's you get good compaction out of it with those fines. It's like 1.5 inches down to limestone dust, and it works great for bedding underneath the pipe, on the sides, and on top of it. It'll work really well. Because your pipe's only as good as the backfill that you use. All right, I got the deck over on. We're gonna go pick up some pipe. All right, got my 20-foot joints of pipe loaded up. Gonna head back to the house. So I was on my way home and I pulled over to send a couple emails. But I was just looking at a couple receipts, and this is crazy. So far today, it's about 10 a.m. I got about 3.5 tons of stone. I got 2 culvert pipes and a tank of fuel in my truck, and I have already spent $775 today. That's just crazy what things cost. You know, if I was doing this for somebody else, I mean, it would be $2,000 to install a culvert pipe. You know, if you're a contractor, by the time I'd factor in insurance, equipment costs, and a little bit of profit, it would be $2,000 to put in a culvert pipe. I remember years ago, about 20 years ago, and we had a long run where a triaxle load of stone was like $210. And now it's about $650. It's crazy. And I read an article this morning. This is even crazier. The government spent $514 billion just on interest payments on the debt. $514 billion in the last 7 months. Okay, not even a year, a little over half a year, 7 months. There are 333 million people in the United States, so that works out to a little over $1,500 for every man, woman, and child that just to pay interest on the debt. You know, that's no Social Security, that's no road building, that's no bombs, that's none of that stuff. That's just the interest on the debt. $1,500 for every man, woman, and child in the last 7 months. It's crazy. Give you a better look at this pipe. So this has a bell end on one end. It's 12 inches diameter on the inside, and about 14 3/4 on the outside. All right, I just brought the excavator up, have it in position. That culvert pipe, you can see where that low spot is behind it. There's actually water laying in it right now. I'll have the inlet, I'll cut that back a little bit. We'll kind of chase the inlet that direction, and we'll run it straight across, and we will daylight somewhere right in here. I'll probably fix that up, maybe put a little bit of riprap in there. I chose a 12-inch culvert pipe just because I think it will be plenty adequate. We're on top of a hill here basically, so the water, you know, don't get me wrong, in a heavy rain you'll get a lot of water come down here, but you only got to go up about another 20 feet and it starts dropping off the other direction. So the only water that's going to come down here is what runs off of this little bit here, comes this direction, and then right up there about 100 feet is a break point where it goes the other way. So yeah, during a heavy rain there'll be a lot of water, but nothing like dealing with the water down like at my mom's place or my sister's place. They're way down in the bottom, probably 150 feet lower than where we're standing right here, and they get all the water from all these valleys all around. So the way I'm sitting right here, I'm going to dump my spoil material out this direction over here so I can bring my stone in for the pipe from this direction right here, and the spoil pile won't be in my way. And since I can't run down over that steep bank or up that steep bank behind me, I'm going to dig it sideways like I am right here. I think I'm actually going to move a little bit tighter to the bank. I'll dig as close as I can, and then I'll move out there, cross over the ditch, and dig this side. And if I do it right, there's going to be just a little bit of shovel work. There shouldn't be too much, but you're going to spill some in the ditch. We'll get it figured out though. But yeah, I'm going to move over to the bank as tight as I can. Gotta move my headphones there. And I should still have enough reach. Whoa! There's my phone laying on the ground. I don't even know how that happened. That could have been ugly. I'm glad I decided to move this direction, or that would have been bad. I'm hard on phones and I'm hard on cameras. I have the 18-inch bucket on the excavator, and you can probably tell it's a little bit rusty. I don't use it very often. But like I said, that pipe is about 14, almost 15 inches in diameter, outside diameter. So an 18-inch bucket will be perfect. And this is pretty perfect where I'm setting. If I can kind of level myself up a bit there, I think we're good to go. Since I have like the skid loader and stuff, I like putting the spoil dirt pretty far away from it, because like I said, I'm going to have to cross over this ditch out here where I'm digging right now, and I don't care about the spoil dirt. Most of this is going to get backfilled with stone anyway, so I'll get rid of this dirt. Some of it will be used back in the ditch, but not much. I have been debating for a year, a little over a year, to tell you a story. Against my better judgment, I'm going to tell the story. It's a crazy story. It really is. And it's related to the topic of today's video, installing this culvert pipe. I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to. I can't help myself. I actually got to get a little closer to the edge first. Then we'll get into the story. It's a humdinger. I mean, you won't even believe it. I still don't. I'm still shocked, to tell you the truth. All right, so a little over a year ago, I installed a new culvert pipe on our driveway, down at the end of the driveway. And the reason that I did, I widened that all out. You may remember those videos. So I widened it all out. Well, when we built the house, I put in a culvert pipe at the end of the driveway, and at that time I just used a single wall pipe. It was less expensive, and we didn't have really any money. So I put a single wall pipe in it, and it survived all those years. There was no problem with it. But I figured since I was going to widen it all out, I'd put a double wall pipe in like I'm doing today. So I go buy the pipe and I install the culvert pipe. Everything went really well. I used the 2A limestone for backfill, all that like I'm doing today here. And there are a few comments from people about they didn't like the way I installed it or whatever, but it was fine. And it wasn't that long after that, I think, when I delivered my old Sawmill, the LX150, to Tom Haas. I think that's when it was. I was over at Tom's house and he said, hey, some guy emailed him about my culvert pipe. I said, why would he do that? He said, I don't know. He said, I didn't read it all or anything. I said, well, send it to me. So he sends me this email from some guy in Australia. And I hate to say it because we have a lot of super nice, normal, sane people from Australia that watch our videos. So this guy sends, I still have it, I saved it. I might hang it on the wall one day. He sends 6 or 8 paragraphs telling Tom Haas that if he's ever gonna, he recommends not ever pouring concrete for me until I get an engineer to design the proper culvert pipe. And he went into detail about how if Tom tried to bring a concrete truck across that driveway, the culvert would collapse, the mixing drum on the back would break off, break the ring gear. I can't even remember it all. It was crazy. So like the email was this long, and he was telling Tom all these reasons why. He's talking about the culvert pipe's not even on my property. It's within the gazetted roadway. All this stuff. And not one time while writing this email did this guy think to himself, I'm sending an email to someone on the other side of the planet that I don't know about someone else that I don't know about a culvert pipe that I know nothing about. I just couldn't believe it. So I recognized the name, and I'm not going to share his name. He's got enough issues. This guy's been around the channel a long time, and he still comments every once in a while. Not all the time, but he still comments every once in a while. And he just hates me. I don't know why, but he just hates my guts. So there's 2 possibilities here. I think he was just trying to cause me grief or something. You know, like I was going to call for concrete, and Tom would be like, hey, Mike, I can't till you fix your culvert pipe. I think that had to be most of it. I don't know. But, I mean, he actually thought, I've known Tom Haas now for 35, 40 years. And this guy actually thought in his head that Tom would read that email, and I'd call Tom, you know, and be like, hey, let's pour concrete. And Tom would be like, oh, hold your horses there, Mike. I got an email from some guy in Australia. Says your culvert pipe's not safe. So I had the email. I had this guy's email. So I emailed him back. I thought this was pretty funny. I told him, I said, I know, you know, I got some mates in Australia. I got friends in Australia. Mark Daniel, a few others. I said, how about we do this? The next time I bring a heavy truck across the culvert pipe that's going to collapse, we will live stream it, and I'll have one of my mates in Australia meet you at your place. I know where the guy lives, what part of Australia and all that. I said, I'll have one of my mates meet you over there. We'll live stream it. If the pipe collapses, they'll pay you $1,000. If it doesn't, you pay them $1,000 and they'll send it to me. And you know, he never emailed me back. I couldn't believe it. But as far as that culvert pipe, it was kind of funny. The day that or I'd say the week that we installed it, we had these windstorms, and it knocked the power lines down across the road just past our house. And the road was closed for 3 or 4 days, and everybody turned around in our driveway. That's where they blocked it off. That's no big deal. So right after the pipe was installed, we had 1,500 or 2,000 vehicles turn around in our driveway. We had fire trucks, power company trucks. Since then, we've had load after load, log truckloads of logs cross that culvert pipe. And there's not even a dent in the ground. So pipe's installed well, very well. And yeah, it's pretty weird. Imagine that, sending an email to someone on the other side of the planet that you don't know about someone else's culvert pipe that you don't know. Pretty strange. I hope I'm getting some fall here. I think I am. It's kind of deceiving because we're in kind of a banked turn here. It's sloped back to the ditch line. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think we're golden. We're gonna move over there. All right, I got situated there. Whoa. Little frog out there. He got out of the way. I almost hit him with the bucket, and I stopped, and he bailed. Smart move. But back to the nut job from Australia. One of his biggest hang-ups seemed to be, he kept saying that it's not even my culvert pipe or something. You know, it's the state or the county. I don't know how they do things in the Queensland, but on my land, it's my culvert pipe. If I asked our state or township to install a new pipe, they'd tell me, you know, that's my responsibility. Yeah. Like I always say, though, it's a good thing that 99% of the people that watch our channel are sane and normal. But like even that guy, I mean, he leaves nasty comments and stuff, but he watches all our videos. I mean, he knows everything that's going on, and you know, that helps a lot. So I appreciate that. I really do. Getting into some good shale right there. Oh yeah. Now what I got to be careful of at this point is that I'm not pulling this dirt back to me. So I want to kind of keep pushing it away from me like so, because if I pull it back to me, it's going to create more handwork. I do have a shovel out here. I always get teased from people about never using a shovel. I try not to be honest. I spent a lot of years on a shovel. A lot of years. I have worn shovels out. I saw a Wrangler Star video the other day. He was showing people how to sharpen his shovel. I never had to sharpen mine. They stayed sharp because we used them so much. When I was a blaster, every borehole that you drilled and loaded with explosives had to be stemmed, is what it's called. And that's where you shovel the cuttings, the drill cuttings, back into the hole. So like say you had a 40-foot deep hole or something, you might put 28 feet of explosives in that hole, and then you had to shovel 12 feet of drill cuttings, which is like really fine, heavy, crushed rock, back into the hole. And like I said, I was a blaster for 20 some years, 25 years, and there's a lot of holes, thousands and thousands. So nowadays, if I can do something with these controls in the excavator, instead of using a shovel, it's happening right here. I'm actually surprised my back is as good as it is. Occasionally, once or twice a year, I'll have an issue with my back where it goes out for literally one day, I'm done, can't do a thing, lower back. And it's usually when I reach out with something, like a string trimmer even can get me. And just turn the wrong way and reach out and it's on. But a lot of guys I know that were blasters have back trouble because everything that you do, not just the shoveling, but everything you do is focused around that hole in the ground and carrying product to it. You're just bent over all the time. But yeah, knock on wood, I've been pretty fortunate with my back. Some guys really suffer with that. That would be rough. We're getting there. I still may have to move back over to where I started to clean this out, or I will have a lot of shoveling, and we already went over all that. A lot of dirt coming out of this little hole. The pile of dirt is bigger than my pile of stone, so that I think it's safe to say we'll have to use a little bit. But like this stuff here would make good backfill. I'm not going to flare this out at the end. I'll use a grading bucket to do that when I get my ditches to flow properly into this, into the inlet. Boy, it's getting darker out. If it pours down the rain before I'm done, I'll just come back to it. Not going to hurt anything the way it is. We'll have water running through this ditch. But I've hit the rain just perfectly with seeding out there in the field, out in the woods, and seeding that section of lawn. Just perfect. It sat maybe 2 or 3 days. It was dry as a bone. And then since then, it's been raining once or twice a day. Not a whole lot, but just enough to keep everything nice and damp. I'm purposely not going out there because I'd like to go out in about a week and see some green, but I don't know. I may have to go out before that. We'll see. Once I get this finished up, we'll measure this, see how long it is. I got 2 joints on the truck, 2 20-footers. I need one more down at the other end, but they only had 2. But this will be enough for this culvert here. I'll have to cut a piece. I'm guessing it's going to be around 26 feet or something. Not sure. You gotta watch doing this so you don't push yourself and slide the machine, because there's a major drop off right here behind me and my track is on the edge. I don't want to flip over, and backwards is the worst way in my opinion. There's no catching it, you know what I mean? When it goes, it's gone. We are almost ready. I'm going to try one more bucket out of here. Kind of digging back under the machine a little bit almost. Maybe I'll get 2 more buckets out of there. clean up the sides here a little bit. All right, we're gonna move off of here and try not to knock a bunch of stuff in the ditch. Yeah, there'll be a little bit of shovel work, not much. It was trying to rain a little bit. I don't think the heavy stuff's coming for a while though. All right, I put some 2A limestone in the bottom of the ditch for the pipe to set on, and I'm positive that I have fall going that direction, but I'm going to have to check it because it is deceiving. You know, like I said, the road surface is higher at that end. It slopes back towards this ditch line, and just looking at it, it doesn't look quite right, but I think it is. But we'll check here and see. I really hope the rain holds off. It's starting to stick to the bottom of my boots, which I'm not a fan of. Don't like mud. All right, so here at the inlet end, I'm at about 5.7½, we'll call it. 5.7½. We'll go over here to the center. Yeah, we got plenty of fall here. I'm at 6 feet already right there. Yeah, I'm about 6 feet, 8.5. So I have over a foot of fall from up there to right here. That's good. That's in about 30 feet. Yeah, 30 feet, foot of fall. So Levi just helped me bring the culvert out. We got that one and that section right there. So we got 11 more feet. It doesn't look like you hardly need it, but it'll daylight out there. And I wanted to get it out as far as I could so it didn't wash away at that fill slope there. But I want to mention something. The other day, Levi, I pulled that poison ivy off that tree. And you told me there was both poison ivy and what was the other thing? Virginia creeper. And some guy actually commented, he said that was a Virginia creeper. He didn't see the poison ivy. What is Virginia creeper?
It's a native vine. It climbs very far. It's actually it's a host plant for like a really cool moth. You should look it up.
For a moth?
Yeah, and that's its host plant, just like milkweed is for monarchs. So there's one type of moth that needs Virginia creeper. A lot of things feed on it, but the poison ivy vine, when they get real big, you know, they grow a lot differently than when they're just growing on the ground. but that poison ivy vine will get hairy, you know,
Yeah.
it looks like, whereas the Virginia creeper vine's smooth.
Okay.
And Virginia creeper's also going to have leaves of 5. When it's young, it could have 3, or when it's old, it could have 7, whereas poison ivy's going to have bunches of 3
Right.
leaves. But
how's the tree growing going?
good.
How many do you think you have?
I mean, right now, like 10-inch trees, I would say like 500.
Yeah.
But I have like 3,000 were planted, so we'll see. There's still like some of the persimmon and the pawpaw, they take like 8 weeks to germinate, so I'm waiting on those ones.
Yeah. So what all do you have? You've got chestnut.
I have like 20 species total, with a bunch of oaks, chestnuts, some native fruit like the pawpaw and the persimmon, dogwood, witch hazel I was experimenting with. It could take 2 years for that, but yeah.
Why do the
White pine,
dogwood
hemlock.
die so, like, they only get so big here and then
Yeah, I don't really know a whole lot why that happens. I know they're not a very, they're more like an ornamental tree too, I think, you know.
Yeah.
They don't live too long though.
we have them around, but they,
Yeah.
you know,
They don't get big.
maybe 4 inches in diameter or
Yeah.
something, and that's about
I
it.
see them in the woods, yeah, they don't grow. They do well in understory though, yeah.
So I want to show you a little trick here that I learned. So this culvert pipe, it's got a bell end on that end, so we need to jam that other end onto this end right here. So you take that plastic off, and there's like a rubber gasket on it, and it works good, but sometimes it's hard to push them together. So I use this Blaster industrial strength silicone lubricant, and it's safe for rubbers and plastics and all that stuff, so it's not like going to break down that seal. So I'll spray that all around it inside the bell, and it goes on way easier than if you didn't have it. Much easier. I was debating on putting this in the ditch first or putting them together up here. We're going to try it up here first. We got it.
Okay, yeah.
We got her on. Right there it says home. So this has been the same story for the last 3 or 4 days. It rains for a little bit and then the sun comes out. But we got the culvert pipe in, got it backfilled up to about 6 inches from the top. I'll probably round up a little bit more stone down the wood yard and at least finish off where you drive with stone. Now at the inlet end, I need to clean that all up. I'll pull that back, have the ditches, you know, nice fall right to the pipe. But I will have like a clay material and dirt around the culvert there. That way, you know, it's not the end of the world, but the water will always go through the pipe and not find its way through the stone. So it should work good. right, I got done just in the nick of time. It's starting to rain pretty hard now. I just kind of roughed in the ditch there a little bit with the skid loader, so water will go through the pipe if it rains real hard. But yeah, pretty happy with it. I will have to do one more down at the bottom of that next hill. Next day that it's dry, I'll do that one. That one will be easier, not as long of a run, and I think I can just start at one end and dig straight out. But that pipe, I don't know if I measured wrong. I don't know. I am going to waste a little bit more dirt out there, but I may just cut it off some. We'll see. But there's fall all the way through. All good. And I don't think any concrete trucks will tip over if they cross it. Oh, and by the way, while I was in the skid loader, running the skid loader, it's noisy. I had my 3M Bluetooth headphones on, and I was talking to Melissa while running the skid loader, and she could hear me fine, and I could hear her fine as well. If you're one of those people that still don't have a pair, I'll put a link in the description. They're awesome if you run any type of equipment, log splitter, chainsaw, mower, anything like that at all. They're great to have. Hope you have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one.